Tuesday, October 14th, Valentine's Day. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. So they tried to knock the market down again today, and I guess it was somewhat a little bit successful in the Dow Jones and the S&P, but the NASDAQ was up. They want to sell this market so bad, folks. I'm seeing crazy stuff, man. I'm seeing just crazy stuff. I'm seeing stuff like some of these big shot Wall Street guys. You know, at first, their analysis was like, oh yeah, the Fed and monetary policy and rates and and this is going to cause the market to go down. You know, that was like last year and a little bit of a ways through last year. And now it has kind of devolved into like, the market's just crazy. It's not listening to reality. And when I start to see people change their views, and then not only change their views, it's one thing to change your views if you realize that the underlying assumptions or the things that the analysis is wrong. But it's one thing to change your view to kind of describe the market as, you know, as an individual with some kind of crazy mentality, like the market's just being irrational. It's being crazy. It's not listening to reality. What do they call it? Forget the word. Anyway, so that's what I'm starting to see. And to me, anthropomorphism, that's the word I was thinking, to equate something to a human, which is non-human, okay? To equate something to ascribe human characteristics to something which is, you know, non-human, inanimate, just like a total abstraction. And that's what I see going on right now. And when I see stuff like that going on right now, I mean, what more do you need to realize that their analysis is so wrong and they can't come to grips with it, so they have to anthropomorphize. And it's like, this is just like a crazy person. The market's just like a crazy person because it's not listening to reality. But my question is, whose reality? Whose reality are they ascribing to the market? It's their own reality, like, because all of these people are monetarists, and it's like, okay, well, you know, we got interest rates, we got inflation, and by the way, I'm going to talk about inflation in a second. And it's like, it's not going down. It's got to go down. So let's talk about this for a second. First of all, I sent out an email earlier today to my subscribers, and I said, look, I told you this was going to happen. I said that inflation was not going to come down to the Fed's 2% target because the very act of raising interest rates is going to raise the general price level. Like, I'm not just saying this now. I said this a year ago. And we have seen so many examples of this. I keep talking about the examples that we see. You know, Turkey, Argentina, Ukraine, all these places where they jack up interest rates to like ridiculous levels, and the inflation rate doesn't come down. It stays high. Because when you raise the cost of credit, you're raising the cost of all goods and services, and that just brings up the general price level across the board. And it should be obvious to everyone except, the people in charge who are at the Federal Reserve or at policy level, who that is their orthodoxy. And they have to stick with that. I've always said, by the way, folks, I've always said, and you know me, I've said this because they all, in order to stay in that group, in order to stay in that club, with all its, with everything that it affords you in terms of prestige and elitism and stuff like that, you have to stay in that club, because if you say anything outside of those parameters, anything outside of that orthodoxy, you're out of that club. So you're not going to get a 2% inflation rate when the Fed keeps raising interest rates. That doesn't mean we're going to go into a full Volcker situation where he was, and to this day, I mean, if you read anything or if you listen to any kind of conversation about Volcker, how he was the god of gods of central bankers, like, he destroyed so much. He fueled inflation. He destroyed the manufacturing base of the United States with this insane monetarism. And of course, that was an outgrowth of what was monetarism. That's Milton Friedman. And the irony is that Milton Friedman, at the end of his life, he didn't believe in what he taught, basically. I don't think that's teaching. What he espoused, that was more like a kind of a religion, kind of a mythology. And he knew that. I remember I used to work when I worked at Fox News, there was a girl there, journalist background, not economist or trader or anything. Not that means anything. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody, but and she used to say, oh, we don't even need a Fed. We could have a computer that could just manage the money supply. I mean, this is such fucking bullshit that it is unbelievable. I mean, we have seen basically 40 years of growth in the money supply where there was no inflation whatsoever, because the money supply in a fiat system went hand in hand with the output of goods and services. Like, you need to see the money increased because that was the mechanism, that was the lubricant, let's say, that allowed for the expansion in the economy. It wasn't in and of itself anything inflationary. We just, the way the system is set up is that you need a means of exchange. Like, we're not in a barter system, so you need something convenient, which is this money supply, which is not something you can run out of, but it's there as an accounting mechanism, for lack of a better word. It's just I produced wheat and you get this balance in your account, all right? It's the wheat that matters. Or it's the production of goods, it's the automobiles, it's the healthcare, it's the roads, it's the bridges. Hang on. What would a video be without crazy shit going outside on the window in New York City? But yet there's people who still think it's that money. It's that money that is that's the thing, right? They just don't get it. And so here we are back again with this situation. Anyway, what I like right now is the fact that the narrative, or I mean, you could see the frustration from these monetarist people, like when they start to, they go from like these very, like I said before, these very serious people to like, why is it not going down? It's not, it's not paying attention to reality. The reality is these people get paid a lot of money for a completely not understanding anything that they're talking about. And just being kind of schooled or, I don't know, convinced or wedded to a dogma that is completely inapplicable to the way the system runs. Do you understand that? Completely inapplicable to the way the system runs. And if you're going to be upset about anything, it should be two things. Number one, that these people are in charge, obviously. And number two, that for most of you, it's causing you the loss of money, or best case, the inability to grow your wealth in a very, calm and sustained fashion, which excitement. And if you want a movie in your life about the doom and gloom because of some stupid story like money printing, then that's up to you. Like, I could buy a movie ticket to whatever movie I want to see. And so can you. It's what's in your head and it's what you want to see. So, anyway, that's it for today, folks. Can't think of anything else at the moment. As you know, I'm doing this green screen stuff. I don't know how it's coming out, but we'll see. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye.